Tsunami Studios.
Some might call it a feast of crows as these two fighters take their rank in a pit to find a Froot Loop of the cereal variety in this week's animal-themed version of Fights of Fiction. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Fights of Fiction. I am your host Taryn Barker, and join me as we go on a journey through popular culture where we take two characters and make them fight in a narrative for our enjoyment. It is, of course, another time to be alive in quarantine. I don't know why I said that because it didn't really make any sense, but you know what? We're just going to stick with it. That's the kind of person I am, and that's the kind of story this is. So this is it's between 20 minutes to a half hour of your time where I take two characters and we fight with them. And I always like to pick a theme when I take our combatants. And by theme, I mean just something that has them in common so we don't go over the top with a godlike character fighting a street-level character. I like to find a commonality between the two characters that we can tell in our narrative that might make sense for why these people are fighting. And today I thought I'd go with something that's a little different than what I'm used to doing. We've done robots, we've done actors, but today we're doing the first episode of Animal Attacks. And Animal Attacks is a theme. It's definitely one I'm definitely going to come back to. And what this is, we take two animals that are the same animal of two different characters. And I'm very excited for today's episode. Like, when I was originally coming up with the concept for what I wanted to do for this show, I think right away I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to have this one character fight. And I'm like, oh man, that other character, that'd be a great fight. So let's do it. The first character we have fighting is Scrooge McDuck. I love Scrooge McDuck. You could say this is an honor by the time of this release. You could say it's because Ducktales Season 3 is premiering on the Disney Channel this week. By the time I'm recording this, you could say it's because of that. But in actuality, it's because I love Scrooge McDuck. Like, I really do like Scrooge. He's one of my favorite characters in Ducktales. I just love everything about that guy and everything he represents. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to turn him into a combatant in my show. I love him. He's smarter than the smart. He's tougher than the toughies. He's the perfect character to put in something like this because it makes sense. It's Scrooge McDuck. He's going to fight somebody no matter what it is if they're going after a treasure. So who is our second combatant that will be taking on Scrooge McDuck in a fight? Well, I thought about this one and I'm going with Toucan Sam. Toucan Sam, the mascot of the brand of cereal called Froot Loops. Now, where I'm from in Canada, we have Froot Loops. I'm not sure if it's a worldwide thing where everyone knows who Toucan Sam is. I'm gonna say yeah. If not, you can easily look up Toucan Sam. He is just a toucan. He's brightly colored. He's got 3 nephews, just like Scrooge McDuck. But I'm not doing the nephews today. We're just doing Toucan Sam in Scrooge McDuck. And I chose this because I remember distinctly when I was younger, there were commercials that involved Toucan Sam where he was clearly ripping off Ducktales, where he's going on adventures with his 3 nephews and they're fighting mummies, they're stealing Froot Loops from various places, they're hunting pirates and stuff. So I figured these are 2 explorers and they're both birds, so they're perfect for our first Animals Attack episode. Why not? I mean, look at them. I think this is going to be really fun. I'm very excited to talk about this one. And I cannot wait to craft the story with you guys. So let's jump into it. Let's do Scrooge McDuck versus Toucan Sam. To start, I always like to pick a place where our characters would meet. And I think when we got these 2 characters, we both know they're explorers and kind of search out treasure and riches. So I think it's like, let's say it's like a Treasure Island kind of storyline where they're hunting this city of gold or this island made of gold. We all know it's just a treasure chest. Let's say inside that treasure chest is a golden Froot Loop, like a huge solid gold Froot Loop. It's the rarest loop in the loop lore. Everyone's been searching for it. Scrooge McDuck has a clue to where it is, so he gets on his ship. He's sailing out to this mysterious island to find it. Toucan Sam is doing the same. And it's just your classic story. You have the good guy and the bad guy, and they're trying to get to this destination first to see who's going to win. Who's the bad guy here, though? Who would be the bad guy? Scrooge McDuck seems kind of shady, so I think he could be the bad guy. I mean, you look at these two guys. Which one looks like the villain? The crooked, like, Scottish duck who is like a gajillionaire, or just like your friendly cereal boy? Like, I think no one's the bad guy really, but if anybody was to be the bad guy, it's Scrooge McDuck. I do think that. So they're on opposite ends of the island. They're on their ships. They come into port. You know, Scrooge McDuck, he's venturing on his own. He's got his map in hand. He's headed to the center there. And we know Toucan Sam's just like, follow your nose. So he's going in a photo map. They're just going there. And it's just like, I always love this, like the cartoony nature of the way these things just end up and turn out. Where there's like a big pit. It's kind of like a pit in the middle of the island. There's like vines hanging down into this pit so that people can get down. It's just obviously like a staged looking place. It's just like a grassy field in the middle of this pit, and then there's just like this golden treasure chest that's just open up, and there's light pouring out like the case in Pulp Fiction. And it's like, it's big enough where you could see Scrooge McDuck and Toucan Sam on either side, but neither of them could like actually make out who it is. You just see Scrooge McDuck, he's like, I'm not going to fake a Scottish accent, so you just have to bear with me when I do a Scrooge McDuck impression. He's just looking at the other end of the pit. He's like, that looks like, what is that? What's that blue thing that's just walking by there? And then Toucan Sam's like, oh, I found the treasure. I'm so excited. I'm not even going to bother to look where Scrooge McDuck is. So then they both slide down into the pit. They're on either end, and you could just see, now it becomes something like, oh, there's somebody here with me. Okay. Scrooge McDuck's getting ready. He's got his cane. He's clenching onto his cane. He's like, I'm going to have to fight off some evil bird for it. And then Toucan Sam, just being the jolly good showman he is, he's like, oh, it's all good. Let's go. Let's have fun. You do. I'm making up lore for Toucan Sam. I know I am, but you know what? It's really fun. Like, come on. It's Toucan Sam. What are you guys going to expect? Again, I hope everyone knows who he is while I'm doing this fight, because, like, again, I know who he is, so I'm just assuming everyone else has had Froot Loops. So we just see it. There it is. There's the treasure chest. The light's pouring out. Obviously, Scrooge McDuck gets there first just because he's like, I don't trust whoever this is coming to get it. I'm going to have to get out of here first. And then he gets to the chest. He just sees in the chest, there's the golden loop. It's about the size of a normal Froot Loop, but it's made of actual gold. So it's big. And it's just one. The rest are just regular Froot Loops, but that one's just blaring out from the top. So he's just looking and he's kind of starting to make it. I was like, is that a toucan coming this way? And he just sees him. And he's like, huh, okay. So he just kind of picks up the golden loop. And he's holding it. And Toucan Sam's like, excuse me. Is that the golden loop you have? I'm just picturing Toucan Sam's like this really nice guy. And he says like, is that the golden loop? You know, I came a long way to get it. Do you think you could give it to me? And he's like, are you kidding me? You wanted it, you get here first, okay? I saw you arrive. You really want it, you come down and get it. And Scrooge is just like, I ain't giving it to you, okay? This is mine. I want it. You took too long. I'm taking it. So Scrooge is trying to leave, right? He's classically just trying to get out of here. He's not trying to be a part of the situation. And he's just, I'm done, okay? I'm just gonna walk away. He's gonna ignore me. Hopefully, he's like, but Toucan Sam, being the nice guy he is, he's like, he's tapping his shoulder. Excuse me, do you think we could split the profits on that? And then Scrooge is like, what? Split the profits? Are you out of your mind? And now Scrooge is like trying to get this guy to back up. He's like, look, I don't want to split anything with you. You wanted it. You get here earlier. I've sailed a long way to get this. And just get out of here. And he's kind of waving his cane. He's like, get out. And he just hits Sam a little too hard, you know? Not to the point where Sam is like on the ground or he's bruised, but it's just kind of like a little too hard of a tap and just hits him across the face. Just your little boom sound, right? And then we just see Sam's like, well, you are a mean man. He's like, yeah, I'm a mean man. You coming in here, you're asking for my treasure? Go get the rest of those damn Froot Loops. I don't want them. You obviously look like you're a jolly guy. Those are kind of fruity looking. Go take those. He's like, I came a long way for these. Sir, I would like it if we could at least split the profit. And then, of course, Scrooge is like, no, I'm not splitting with you. Get lost. So then, again, Scrooge is trying to walk away. He's just like, I'm not putting up with this guy, and I'm also not going to start an incident with this guy. He might be like, I don't know, a ninja or something. So Scrooge is walking away. And then you just see, it's kind of a grassy field, but it's also like, it's kind of still like, it's like rough. So there's some dirt and everything. And Toucan Sam just picks up some dirt, puts it in his hand, throws it at the back of Scrooge's head. And now Scrooge is entirely pissed off. You like classic steam coming out of the ears. He's about to just lose control. He's like, and he's like done, grabs his cane, pulls out a sword, and he's just like, don't you take one step closer. If you throw that dirt again, you are going to regret it, sir. And Toucan Sam just like, throw some more dirt at him. And just like, Scrooge is just walking up. He's waving his sword like he's slinging the dirt away that Sam has thrown at him. He's like, don't. And then Sam's like, okay. And he just stops what he's doing. He takes a little second. He's like, okay, this guy is pissed. I pissed him off. I mean, I let my anger get the best of me there, but I'm going to try to control myself in this next situation. So what does Sam do? They're now at the position right next to the treasure chest, right? So they've backed up. Now they're next to the treasure chest. He puts his hand on top of the treasure chest, and with all his strength, he just whips it up. And it smacks Scrooge underneath the jaw, and he goes flying into the air, and he lands backwards. And you just see the golden loop slowly roll out of his hand like it's a coin. And it's just kind of rolling, and just like, it does like the classic spin where you see a coin, it's spinning, and then it kind of just like rolls horizontally and then smacks down onto the ground there. And now Scrooge he's still trying to get up. So Sam's just like, oh, I'll just go grab the coin. He's like, la-dee-da-dee-da, grab the coin, pick it up. I'm calling it a coin now. He picks up the loop. He's like, all right, goodbye, Mr. Duckman. I'm out of here. He's walking away. And then Scrooge is like, oh, I'm getting away with that coin. You just wait. I called it a coin again. I'm getting away with that loop, okay? Don't you even think otherwise, man. You're done for. You are done for if you think you're getting that loop. He's got his sword, and he's just waiting. You see Sam's just like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this situation. I think I aggravated an angry old man. He might try to kill me, and I don't really want to die, so we're just going to just run for our goddamn life. So, and it's like, you just see, here comes Scrooge McDuck. He's running up with his sword. It's like, I'll get you, you toucan little prick. And then you just see Toucan Sam just bolting out of there. He's like, I got to get out of here. He gets to like the end of the pit, and he's trying to climb one of the vines. But Scrooge throws his sword up, and the sword cuts the vine. So Sam falls back down to the ground. And then, you just see, here comes Scrooge. He tries to stomp on Sam's chest, and he does, and then Sam bites his ankle, and then Scrooge whacks him on the head with his hand, and you just see Sam's trying to hold on with his other hand to the loop, but he just kind of throws it up in the air, and then Scrooge kind of kicks him down to the ground again, and then Sam tries to like grab his ankle to like rip him down too, while we're just watching the loop float in the air. It's just kind of like, it's like a slow motion shot. You just see the loop. It's spinning back and forth in the air. And then below the loop, it's just Sam and Scrooge pulling at each other to get up to see who can get their hand up to grab it first. And as they do this, with a little peck of the, like, with a little feather, is it a feather or a finger? With like the flick of a feather, Scrooge accidentally hits it again with his finger feather, and it just kind of like rolls away again. So now they're just like, oh, this is, and they're still kind of going at each other. Scrooge grabs a hold of the vine that he cut off with the sword, and he wraps it around Sam's neck, and he's just strangling him with the vine. And so, but Sam, luckily, he's got a big beak. He kind of bites through it, and he gets hold of himself, and he just grabs Scrooge by the neck, and he's just ringing him in old school style, Homer and Bart style. He's like, "Why, you little old man, I'm gonna..." Oh, boy. It's just really fun. So you just see Sam's just standing there. He's got Scrooge in like a chokehold. He's like, okay, can I just like get this old man to stop breathing enough where I can go grab my Fruit Loop and just get out of here, because I do not want any more frustrations going on today. I don't know if I can handle it. Like, I'm not emotionally ready to deal with these kind of situations, so I don't want to. So you kind of just see the life, not the life, but more like you see, okay, Scrooge is kind of unconscious. He's down for the count. So Toucan Sam, he's done. He's like, okay, I'm going to drop you, lay it down nicely. I'm going to go grab the loop and I'm going to leave. And as he does, so Scrooge is kind of on the ground. He's like gasping for breath. He can't really get a hold of himself. He hits a watch. I don't know if Scrooge is carrying a watch with him all the time, but he hits a watch on his hand. And he just hits, and he puts it up to his mouth, and he's like, "Launchpad, hit the button." And then you cut to on the pirate ship, the Scrooge McDuck or something. You just see Launchpad. He's kind of reading a comic book of Darkwing, and he's just looking there. He's like, "Okay, Mr. S." Okay, Mr. Scrooge. And he just hits a button, and then boom, a giant torpedo kind of missile comes flying out of the pirate ship, and it's just overhead, right? He's just bolting overhead. You just see the shadow of it go over the entire like island landscape. The sand just kind of like turns really dark from the shadow of it, and you just see in the pit Toucan Sam. He grabs the loop and he's holding it in his hand. He's like, that's really nice. And he's kind of looking up at it, letting the sun hit it, and then it goes really dark. And then he puts it down and he looks up. And there's the torpedo kind of missile that's just hovering above him. And he's like, oh, look at that. What am I going to do in this situation? What would you do, right? What are you logically going to do in this situation that makes sense? So you're just looking up. There's the missile coming down at you. Where are you going to go? And it's at this point, I think we are going to stop. And we're going to decide who we want to win this fight. Because I think you look at this, and both men were kind of acting a little more brash than they have, than they should have been. Scrooge was easy to go on the offensive, and then he kind of took the defensive after Sam kind of lost his chill. I think at the beginning there, Sam was definitely the good guy, and he's trying to be the gentleman. But then he just got a little carried away. And in this quest for the Golden Loop, it's taken these men a long time to figure out what it is they're hunting for and exploring the islands for. And when they find it, you just realize neither of them are that good of people, right? Scrooge is kind of a selfish prick. Sam's kind of an angry dick. Everyone's just kind of against it. So in this situation, I don't think there's a clear winner. I know in the past two stories I've done, there's been clear winners where Indy won and Rosie won. But I think for this fight, we're just going to have a little moment where nobody really wins, and who's going to walk away with the loop? I'm not sure who's going to walk away with the loop. We'll find out. So let's continue to our story. The torpedoes come down closer and closer. Sam is like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He's trying to run away, but it's kind of following him. It's like big enough where it's not like tracking him, but he can't really like escape the situation. There's nowhere he can go in this pit, and he can't climb out fast enough where it's not going to hit him. And even Scrooge is like, this was a mistake, because I sure as hell can't get out of here in time to avoid the missile either. So you just see Scrooge is kind of like backing away to the wall. He's trying to like grab onto one of the vines so he could maybe climb out of there if need be. But it's not really working the way he wanted it to or the way he thought it would. So it's not going exactly as planned, right? Why would it? So they're both going on opposite ends of the pit again. At this point, Sam's just trying to run away. He's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm not doing this. And he drops the loop by accident. He does like the classic, like, no, as he looks back to the loop. And then the missile comes down right on top of the treasure chest. And it's just a huge explosion, like the one that sends everything flying backwards. Everything just explodes around them. There's Froot Loops flying in the air. The sand's picked up. Launch pad's even blown back on the ship. He's just like, Fushu. He's like, whoa, that was awesome. So our guys in the pit, they are just covered in grass and dirt, and they're blown away. They're just like covered in filth. They don't know what's going on. But you could still see that shining light of the golden loop just coming through like a pile of dirt. And again, both of these men, they're injured. They're barely hanging on. They're crawling for it, you know. It's closer to Sam, but Sam got hit with most of the blast radius, so it's kind of just, it affected him more. So he's just kind of like crawling on his hands and knees. He's like, I gotta get this loop. It'll be all worth it if I get this loop. And Scrooge has got like his sword. He's kind of using it as a cane, and he's just walking down. He's like, okay, I got this. And you see the light shining from like a pile of dirt, and then he's digging it out. He's like, I can get this. I got this. I'm gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna please my nephews for once in their lives. We have fought pirates and mummies and aliens in the entirety, but now I got a golden loop and I can finally afford to take care of them. And then here comes Scrooge. He's just slowly walking up, and you just see it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, for a lack of a better word, right? Here comes Scrooge McDuck, and you just see Sam. Sam's putting the golden loop up in the air. He's like, I did it. Finally, it's worth it. And Scrooge takes his sword and just stabs right into the wrist of Toucan Sam. Blood squirting everywhere. Sam is freaking out. He's like, ah, what the hell? And Scrooge rips it out. Sam drops the loop. And you just see Scrooge as a ruthless killer in this situation. He just plunges the sword into Sam's heart. And he grabs the loop. And he saunters away. He's just struggling to leave. And Sam's just grasping for air. He's just struggling to survive, right? He's on the ground. There's blood everywhere. He's covered in dirt and filth. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, it's just a Froot Loop. Why did you have to kill me? And he's trying to reach out to like stop Scrooge, right? He's just like, stop. And Scrooge is like, that's why I'm tougher than the toughies, because I can survive a bomb, you motherfucker. Get lost, you cereal loving nerd. That is so, oh man, what a bet you guys weren't expecting that ending. No, I straight up went with Scrooge as the bad guy ending. I think that works perfectly. How else would he get all that money? He has to make some enemies, right? I think it just makes sense, and I decided we're gonna stick with that. And it makes sense or it doesn't. Either way, we did it, and no complaints, right? It happens. So what are you gonna do? That's the way the wind blows. So let's just take a minute here, and I'll just be happy with myself. No, I think this was a really fun fight. I really do like the idea of having these two like explorer bird characters going at each other. I obviously didn't know what was going to happen in the middle with Toucan Sam and Scrooge McDuck, but I like the way it turned out. I think having Toucan Sam be the actual good guy in the end really makes sense for who he is compared to Scrooge McDuck, because let's be real, Scrooge McDuck can probably be a dick sometimes. So I think that made sense too. And I had a lot of fun with this episode and recording it. So I appreciate you guys for listening and being a part of it. And if you have problems with the way I ended things or the way I told this story, please let me know. And I'd love to hear what you guys think, because this was a really fun one. And it's probably pretty stupid, isn't it? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Wait for this before we get to the ending. Post-credit scene. The lifeless corpse of Toucan Sam's laying in the pit. And we're just there and we're waiting. And we don't know what's happening. But we just hear, we just hear something like scourging towards the body. And you just see three little guys just running up. You just see 3 sets of footsteps running up, and it's his nephews. And they're standing over their uncle's dead body, and they're just looking like, who did this? And you could just see off to the side, he mustered up enough strength to write in the sand or in the grass or whatever. He just writes, McDuck. The nephews are pissed. And maybe we'll come back for a nephew v. nephew fight. Who knows? Could be fun. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Fights of Fiction. This one was really fun to record. As always, you can check me out on Patreon. You can see exclusive content there, and you get this podcast earlier than anybody else. So Patreon/Taryn Barker. You can check me out on the YouTube channel. You can check me out on the YouTube channel, Tsunami Studios, where we got more content there, movies, comics, and TV, and a bunch of good stuff happening there. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram at TarynAlmighty56. And, of course, you can go over to Twitter and go to the @Tsunami Podcast feed, and you'll see everything that's coming up. And we'll just talk about some stuff there, too, that you might be interested in seeing. And, of course, if you have an idea of a theme or a character you want to see fight on Fights of Fiction, you can email me at ironhawk56@gmail.com. Again, that's ironhawk56@gmail.com. Information to all these places will be in the description below, so you can just check it out there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And thank you guys for staying with me till the end of this episode of Fights of Fiction. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for more content coming soon. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. Have fun. Stay fit.